Welcome to the Virginia Tech Summer Academy Facebook Live event, our very first event on Facebook. I'm Michael Herndon, Director of Summer and Winter Sessions, and during this time, the goal that we have is to give you a broad overview of Summer Academy from a faculty perspective and also from a student perspective. So I have three experts that have been invited to appear on the panel today. To my left, Dr. Carrie Redican from Population Health Sciences Department. To my right, to my far right, we have Sierra, and we have Kyle. So just to kind of get things going and warm up here, we'll start with our faculty member. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your background and your involvement in Summer Academy?
Okay, you bet. I'm a professor of public health, and our Department of Population Health Sciences is in the College of Veterinary Medicine. And we have a Master Public Health program, and we have several undergraduate courses that we offer. One is a personal health course, freshman level course, and a drug education course that are very popular courses that students take, and they're good overview classes. And they're classes that have been offered in Summer Academy, and met a lot of students in Summer Academy over the years. It's a great opportunity to come onto campus early, to get settled and figure out what Virginia Tech is all about, and being a part of the Hokie Nation even earlier. And it gives you a good jump start on your program, and to be able to network with other students and other faculty, it's just a win-win experience.
Now, how many years have you participated?
I think this is my fourth year. I think I missed the very first year, but I think after that I was involved. And I still keep contact with the students. It's amazing. You have the Summer Academy, but you know, when you're on campus, you see students from the Summer Academy, and it's just a great experience where you just really bond with the faculty and other students.
Thank you. So we'll go right over here to Sierra. So Sierra, this is your third year coming up, I think, working with or participating in Summer Academy.
Yeah.
So the first year you were a participant, last year you were a peer mentor, and this year you will be one of two head peer mentors.
That's correct.
So can you give us a synopsis about your experience as a student, and then kind of shift from there to your experience working with the program as a mentor?
Okay, so I started off in Summer Academy as a freshman. I came in 2015 with Kyle, and my experience overall was a great experience in terms of academics and in terms of social aspects. I met my best friends to this day during Summer Academy, and I also got a really strong GPA to start off my Summer Academy, to start off my Virginia Tech career. If you want that strong foundation, this is how I see it as well, like in my perspective. If you want a really strong foundation to begin Summer Academy and to begin Virginia Tech with a 4.0 and also have that really intensive connection with your professors, Summer Academy is the best way to do that. You have a class of 20 people, and that was something I knew that Virginia Tech, it's really hard to offer until you get to those 4,000 and 3,000 level classes. So in those intro level classes, being able to have one-on-one communication with my general chemistry teacher really allowed me to excel. And so when I came back as a peer mentor, that was kind of my focus. I wanted to be an academic support to all these students, because when I took these courses, it was really rigorous on me, and it was a little bit of a harsh transition coming in and learning how to live and how to succeed academically on my own without my parents holding my hand. So when I was coming in as a peer mentor, I kind of wanted to be that like hand holder to help them come through this process and understand that college is a little bit different. But once you figure it out, and once you figure out in Summer Academy and a very supportive community, it's something that you can transition pretty easily to do. And then this year I'm back as head peer mentor, hopefully to facilitate a little more of that with all the other peer mentors. So, yeah.
Great. So now, Kyle, your experience is a little bit different from Sierra's. Now, Sierra, I know she came in as a first-year student straight from high school, but yours is a little bit different because you came in as a transfer student.
Yep.
So if there are any transfer students out there listening to this live chat, what would you do to encourage them as a transfer to participate and join us this summer?
Right. So my biggest worry transferring to here, the previous school I went to was way smaller, and so one of the things I was most worried about was when I got here, am I going to adjust to a school that's this much bigger in terms of numbers of students and just the actual physical size of the campus, and also the what I assumed was going to be a pretty significant increase in difficulty of the classes. And so that was one of the great things about Summer Academy, is that you can sort of feel your way around some of that new stuff without being totally overwhelmed with the beginning of the fall semester when everyone else is coming in and you've got, a full 18 credit schedule or 12 or however many you're doing. Whereas in Summer Academy, you usually take about 6 credits, which is only amounts to about 2 classes. So you can sort of focus on that. You can get acquainted to the campus better. And the other big thing I always heard so much about was the food. And you hear this, there's like 20 or 30 different places to eat on campus, probably more. And that was the other thing I was like, how am I going to, learn all of that and keep up with everything else? And again, Summer Academy helps you learn that. And it's a great way to meet people before, you're in a school of 30,000 people and then you're just, again, overwhelmed by the amount of people here. And so Summer Academy helps you make really great friendships early on. And in fact, my 2 current roommates, I met both of them in Summer Academy 2 years ago. So
what would you guys say if there were people out there, they've already committed to Virginia Tech, they know for sure they want to be here, they want to be at Virginia Tech, right? But they are on the fence about Summer Academy. They really haven't committed, from that perspective. What one thing, would you say, especially if I'm a parent, and I'm thinking about, am I going to release my student, a whole term earlier than I had planned? What would you tell those folks who are kind of tentative about, is this something I should really do and think about? How would you all, really encourage them and convince them that this is a good thing for them to consider?
Well, when I talk to parents in general, I really do encourage the students to basically, begin something like a Summer Academy because they experience success very, very early. They're in small classes, as was pointed out. They begin to bond with the professor. They bond with their fellow classmates and that, and they learn about the campus. They learn about the community. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in that 6-week period in summer, and the opportunity to assimilate and the opportunity to experience success early is just absolutely invaluable. It's just an invaluable experience, and I think we have the data that shows that the students are really going to be very, very successful after completing Summer Academy.
As a follow-up, what would you say about the pace of instruction in the summer compared to the fall?
Right.
A lot of people will, wonder, how do I get all of that content and information in a 6-week period compared to a 15-week?
15-week.
So,
Okay.
what's your typical day
Right.
in the life of a faculty member and a student in a
Right.
summer course?
Okay. Well, you'll be in class every day. Okay, you'll be in class every day, and it is going to be a compressed format. You're taking a course that's normally offered 15, 16 weeks. You're compressing it down to about 6 weeks, and so it is compressed. But the one thing is, you're taking 2 courses in summer, whereas in the fall or spring you're going to be taking 5 or 6 courses. So you do have that compressed format. But in interacting with the students in the classes, there's still plenty of time to begin to discover the community, the campus, the kinds of activities, and so forth. So yes, there'll be a level of busyness, but it's one of those things that will help you to assimilate even quicker.
So if you're just now joining us and you logged into Facebook, we're Virginia Tech Summer Academy. We're offering a live chat to give you more information about this particular program. And if we could just kind of go back around and reintroduce ourselves
Sure.
To the people who've just joined us. So we'll start over here this time with Sierra.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Sierra Friend. I came in 2015 as a freshman to Summer Academy. Last year I was a peer mentor, and then this upcoming year I'm going to be the head peer mentor for Summer Academy.
All right, I'm Kyle Turnage. I also did Summer Academy 2 years ago as a transfer student, and now I work for the Office of Summer and Winter Sessions as an intern.
And I'm Kerry Reddick, and I'm a faculty member in the Department of Population Health Sciences in the Master of Public Health program, and I teach a couple of undergraduate courses, some of which are part of Summer Academy.
And I'm Michael Herndon, Director of Summer and Winter Sessions. And if you've just logged in, please ask any questions that you may have for the panel about Summer Academy, the academic as well as the social aspects of the program. And speaking of social aspects, can you all tell us from a student perspective some of the things that you all did outside of class that were either peer mentor led or that were just what I would call organic, that you all just did, as a group of students? So what are some of those things that took place outside of class that help you all with your comfort level at Virginia Tech?
So I remember the first day of Summer Academy when I first came here, and I was kind of reluctant to be here because all of my other friends were spending their summers with each other and enjoying their summers. So when I came here, I was a little bit reluctant, and the first kind of facilitated social interaction I had was with my fellow track members. And I remember the first day, my best friend came up to me, and she was so bubbly, and she had this personality to her, so I could literally not be friends with her. She facilitated something that was so extroverted and happy about being in Summer Academy, so it really helped my experience become a lot easier. And so from that first day there, I had this friend that I could text when I didn't know where D2 was, which is our dining hall. I had a friend that would help me do laundry and do these other things that you don't think about until you come into a zone where you know no one. I knew no one coming into Summer Academy. In terms of how Summer Academy facilitated what my experience was like here over the summer, I was able to go tubing down the river, which is my first time ever tubing, and I do it probably 5 times a summer now. I went hiking. We went to go get food together. We had nightly dinners with my track, which is kind of my group of people in Summer Academy. I got to have track dinners with them, and it was a great way to facilitate not only I'm with them in class, but I can also be friends with them outside of class, which is something that's unique to Summer Academy in that community.
Right. And in addition to meeting a bunch of people early on, I think my favorite memory from Summer Academy is, I think it was the last week or the week before the end, right before finals, and our peer mentor had this great idea. We all, our track was pretty small. There were only about 5 or 6 people in it. Most of them have a little bit more than that. But we met in the library at night around 7 o'clock, and she ordered us, a full pizza from Benny's, which if you don't know, the pizzas are massive. So we got that whole pizza. We all stayed in the library super late studying for the finals, and then went over to Frosty Parrot afterwards, which is sort of a frozen yogurt place, sort of like Sweet Frog. So that was a great time.
Any of the academic success seminars you all recall that maybe you participated in the summer, but later helped you in your transition when you started in the fall? Any of those you all remember that stand out?
Right. So when I came in, a big challenge that I thought I'd have to overcome was the communication with professors. And I know that we kind of go through those orientation seminars and academic success seminars, and it told us how to communicate with these professors in the most professional fashion. And I thought I knew how to talk to someone before that, but writing an email, you can't emote exactly how you're speaking to them and what your body language is. So an email to professor is a really great way to start that relationship if I'm reaching out to someone new. It also helped me feel comfortable going to office hours, which is something that when you're in the fall, it kind of feels uncomfortable when you're in a class of 300 to go to those office hours and to say hey, Dr. blah, 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 I need your help on this specific thing. And they're always willing to help, and they're always really excited to help. So being told that was okay, and then immediately facilitating that and what I was doing as a student, really I feel helped me succeed academically.
Yeah, I learned 2 super important things during Summer Academy. The first one, they're both in regards to office hours. The first thing is that professors, even in classes of 400 people, I've heard that they still meet so few of them because so many students think, 400 students, the professor's not going to get to know me, so why is it worth going? And the second thing is that I was told you should never feel like you're annoying the professor by going to office hours. That's their job. That's what they love to do. They want students to come ask them questions and engage with them and discuss things about the topic. So the biggest thing is to just not be worried about going to see your professors, and that was something that carried over into the fall and still now, which is super useful.
Absolutely.
So we have a question from the live chat audience, and the question is?
We have a question from Samuel, and it's, what opportunities did Summer Academy provide you that you would not have known about otherwise?
Who'd like to take that? Thank you, Samuel, for that question.
The biggest thing that I learned from Summer Academy that I wasn't aware of before, I think one of the biggest things is just it's such a huge campus, and it's a much easier way to know your way around. So by the time the fall semester starts, you're not wandering around on the first day like all the other new students will be. You'll already know, okay, this class is in Randolph. I know exactly where that is because I've already had a summer class there. So you get much more acquainted to the campus. You know where all the dorms are. You know where to go eat, where the gyms are, all of that stuff. So when the fall starts and you're trying to get acclimated to having way more classes and keeping track of everything, it's less to be overwhelmed by.
Right. I feel like on the first day of Summer Academy, people thought I was the RA. Not on Summer Academy, first day of the fall semester. People thought I was the RA. People thought I was like an upperclassman because when I was walking to class, I didn't have a map in my hands and I like knew where I was going. And I also waved like 300 people on my first day of the fall semester because I had known them from Summer Academy. So yeah, socially, but yeah, I swiped into D2. I knew how to accurately like go and swipe into my dorm. I didn't have to sit there for 20 times and try it. So it really gave me an upper hand in terms of how much my friends relied on me in the fall and what kind of resources I could provide to my friends, which I love being able to. I love being able to like help out and like give those resources that my friends, it should seem innate, it should seem like it's really easy, but it's things that you don't really think about until you mess up them a few times as a student, so.
Another question from the live chat audience.
Yes. Okay, we have a question from Sandy. And she wants to know, how soon do you get notified what track that you receive, that you're awarded?
That's a great question, Sandy. So the deadline for Summer Academy application process is May 15th, and everyone will be notified by the end of May. So you'll get a letter and a welcome kit in the mail around the end of May, first part of June. Now, shifting gears just a little bit, one part of Summer Academy is Hokie Camp. And so that, for a lot of people, people have had questions about what is Hokie Camp and why even have Hokie Camp embedded in Summer Academy. So for those of you, the two of you who participated in Summer Academy and Hokie Camp, give us a little, synopsis, summary of Hokie Camp and your experience and why you felt, it's important.
So when I went to Hokie Camp, it's the first weekend of Summer Academy. So you've been here for a week, you've gone through your orientation sessions, you finally feel like a student, you know how to live in your dorm, you have your roommate, you go to dinner with your roommate, and you get to know these people and you just started classes. But Hokie Camp really broadens your perspective of Summer Academy, because I don't know if this has been mentioned before in this little chat we're having, but Summer Academy split into tracks. So there are 18 tracks, and it's kind of facilitated towards your interest or your major. And so in this track, you've got 20 other people that are going to the same classes as you, and you're doing studying together, and you spend a lot of time with these 20 to 25 people in the summer. But Hokie Camp was able to broaden my horizons and broaden my ability to reach out to people that were not in this group of 25 people, that were not in my track. So Hokie Camp was like a fun weekend. We did a lot of team building, a lot of Hokie pride things. And a part of coming to Virginia Tech is having a really good sense of Hokie pride and knowing why you are here and what our motto UPROSA means, and kind of a bigger picture and a bigger sense of purpose as to why you are going to be a student at Virginia Tech. And it really focuses it's focused in my 2 years here, and now I hope to carry on to the next 2 years with that good sense that Hokie Camp started off with.
Right, so when I heard about Hokie Camp, and as Sierra just said, it's a lot of team building activities, which if you're like me, you're like, that's the worst thing ever. I definitely don't want to do it. But I went, and it was so much fun. Probably one of the best parts about Summer Academy is getting to do that. And then after you're done meeting everyone with you is in Summer Academy. So you go back and you can still hang out with all the people you've just met there. And they teach you a bunch of the Virginia Tech traditions, a bunch of the songs and the cheers that they have for football games. And again, it's a great way to meet more people, as all of Summer Academy is. But it's just a super fun time. It's a lot of team building stuff, but it's really fun. And if it doesn't sound great, I promise you it is. I did not think it was going to be too fun, but I love it. It was the best part.
My best friend at the time, well, I had met her 5 days prior to this, so I wouldn't really call her my best friend at the time, but my best friend, who I didn't know quite then that she would be it, I remember we weren't really talking to each other because we were on different teams in Hokie Camp. You've got red team, green team, blue team. We were on different teams, so I didn't really know her at that time, but I remember she told me 2 weeks ago that while she was at Hokie Camp, she was paddling out in the thing, and then she accidentally capsized her kayak, and it was the greatest and most formative moment at Virginia Tech that she's had, because she had 5 other people dragging her back to shore while she was attempting to save her sinking canoe. Not all of Hokie Camp is like that. I just swam around. I did an obstacle course. But to give a perspective, I think that it's a great way to start these good memories at Virginia Tech, to start a history of what being on and living on campus is like.
So when you go to Hokie Camp, you're in an air-conditioned cabin, is that right?
That's
Yes.
And you go in an air-conditioned motor coach, right?
That's right.
And the food is great.
right. Yep.
And you meet good people and make friends for life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think, do we have another question from
Yes.
our live chat?
Yes, we do. This one comes from Sarah, and she wants to know, how did Summer Academy prepare you for your freshman year?
So I think that
We can go back into it, yeah.
Exactly.
So how it prepared me is I came from like a small high school, or at least a small program in my high school. So my program was like 60 some people, and in the larger picture of my high school had like 500 in our graduating class. So it was about 10% of the population. Summer Academy like evens out to be like a pretty small percentage, but it makes a sense of community at Virginia Tech that it's kind of hard to find your freshman year. You join clubs and you get connected with different communities on campus, but there's something about having these 300 very diverse, there's athletes, there's engineers, there's literature majors, there's all these different groups of people that you wouldn't really get exposed to otherwise in terms of your academic success. So I got to reach out to communities that I would have never been able to do. And overall, all these little teeny tiny communities create the larger idea of Summer Academy and how it kind of feels like home and family to me.
All right, so I didn't go here my freshman year. I came in as a transfer student. And so, again, my biggest worries were, how am I going to adjust to a school that's much bigger, where the classes are harder? And my biggest fear was, I already had a really great group of friends at my previous university. Is that going to happen at Virginia Tech? How long is that going to take, you know? And so Summer Academy alleviated all of those by the time the fall semester started, because you could already get a sense of what the classes are going to be like. You meet a ton of people there who you still talk to once the fall semester starts. And again, you get to know the campus, know where everything is. You know what it's like living on a bigger campus. So it just alleviated any fears that I had by the time the fall semester started.
So we have another question.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah, for that question. Now, next question.
Okay, this question comes from Annette, and she wants to know, would you recommend Summer Academy for everyone, outgoing and shy?
Yes, absolutely. I am super shy, or at least I was when I first came here, but I feel like over the years...
I know, I didn't believe it.
Well, now I'm not, but when I first came here, I promise you, I was not social at all. And I met so many people there, and just over time, like people I've gotten to know through them, completely changes who you are in the
Right.
best possible way.
So Kyle and I know each other through Summer Academy, but not directly. I never met him during the year that we were there, but I know him by extension. So I'm really outgoing on the opposite spectrum of Kyle. But even though I'm really outgoing, I said on that first day of Summer Academy, I kind of sat there with my arms crossed, not really wanting to be in Summer Academy. So I was pretty closed off when it started. But the idea is we do so many facilitative things. We do those icebreakers and we do those small track events so that even if you are shy, you find your person in that group of 20. You find someone that resonates with you and has a similar story as you, or can find a way to connect with you that makes it feel so much more at home. And that's something, like, if you are shy, makes it all the difference. You feel like you can be yourself at Virginia Tech, and you feel like you can express yourself and be respected as the unique person that you are.
Right,
So.
and then once you meet that, the right person, like you said, there's such a huge sense of community here. Once you can open up to them, even if you are really shy, that's it. Then you're good from then on.
Well, before we go to our next question from the live chat audience, do you all see any patterns or behaviors beyond Summer Academy? You know, for example, do track members unofficially or informally connect and stay connected throughout the school year? And what kinds of things, take place, beyond Summer Academy based on those bonds you all created in the summer?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I feel like it's just so easy, because once you're on this big campus, you're going to live in the same dorm as people that were in your track. You're going to have the same major. I'm biochemistry, and I am, for 2 years, I have worked with in Summer Academy again, and become really good friends with people that were in that and are also studying biochemistry. So it was really kind of natural for us to go from the summer period where we're doing general chemistry, so there are a lot of different majors in there. But when we narrowed down to biochemistry, I got to experience the major that it is with these people that I really, really enjoy being around. And we also, our group chat is still pretty active, it's 2 years later, so it might be a little obnoxious to some people, but it definitely, I feel a very sense of connection, because they always wish me happy birthday, and we watch out for each other.
Right. Yeah, I'm still in touch with pretty much everyone from my track. Like I said, one of them is my roommate right now. So we've gotten to be super close. And like, for example, over this past winter break, he was flying home to France. And so I was driving home up to Nova, and so he's like, hey, is it okay if I get a ride back to the airport? So thanks to Summer Academy, we had that great connection.
And I have a quick question
Sure.
for Dr. Redican. In all of your years teaching at Virginia Tech, can you tell a difference, for example, in those students who've gone through Summer Academy and first-year students who didn't go through
Right.
Summer Academy? So, for example, in fall semester, if you have some students who may have gone through Summer Academy in your class, can you tell?
Yeah,
Any-
I can tell. And I know that, from advising freshmen for decades now, when you first come to campus, if your first exposure to campus is in August, the middle of August, when classes start, there's a lot of distractions. There's a whole lot you got to learn where things are at. You got to learn sort of the culture here at Virginia Tech. And if you can learn that during a second summer session, during a summer academy, that's a huge jump start. It's a huge jump start in terms of success, whether it be academic, social, and so forth. So I notice a difference between those students who are in summer academy. They come into class much more confident, and they come into class really understanding the culture here at Virginia Tech, and there's a lot less distractions for them. So I think it's a great opportunity.
That's great. So then we'll go to our next question from the live chat audience.
Okay, this question comes from Jared, and he wants to know, are the Summer Academy dorms air conditioned?
Jared, that's a great question. We love that question. So, who wants to go for it?
So the way that I think about it is Summer Academy, there is a fee that is associated with Summer Academy. So when I do stay in an unair conditioned dorm, it can be a little stifling at times, but I know that I'm saving that money elsewhere. That money is going towards things in the fall that I'm really going to want to experience. So they are not air conditioned, but I have never been so adversely affected by that I felt like I couldn't move on. I sweated a little bit at night, and that's okay. You just have one you have one, what is it called, fan going in and one fan going
Yeah, I
out,
was gonna say,
and
yeah,
it's that something about physics right there, some air dynamics, and it makes your room significantly cooler. It wasn't debilitating for me at all, and it's 70 degrees outside, and I'm breaking a sweat walking across campus. So yeah.
Yeah, as long as you get the right setup, the air conditioning's not really that big of an issue. And you're hardly in your dorm that much anyway, to be honest, between class and studying and going and meeting people. So it's not too big of a deal.
And if you really do need a respite, you just go over to the library, which is going to be right next to our dorms, our residence halls this summer. We'll be right next to the library. You'll be right next to D2. If you really wanted to, you could just sit in D2 all day, which is our dining hall, and chow down while also doing homework, while also getting that AC. So there are ways to escape that heat. That we're in Southwest Virginia, so Southwest Virginia is not notoriously known for the hot summers, but it does get a little warm.
Anybody want to speak to some of the academic support that students receive during the summer? I mean, the same kind of support they receive during the fall and spring, but we include that in the Summer Academy, for example, tutoring services and other services that are offered throughout the summer. Anybody want to speak to that, or where you may have had an experience where a student took advantage of some of those services?
So in my role as a peer mentor, we're kind of academically helping our students along. So when course request comes along, when you're requesting the courses that you want for the fall, we can say, hey, you should take this professor because I think you would work really well with them. You should take this class because it's a great head start on your career here at Virginia Tech. So in terms of academic support, I feel like the peer mentors are per track. So it's catered to only your track, and you're gonna have one person in your track that is going to be focused primarily on your success as a student. And they're gonna wanna see you do well, so they will give you the resources. They're gonna tell you, hey, your professor does offer office hours, so go to them. And a lot of times, the peer mentors I know will take their students to office hours because it's a little scary. It's a little scary going one-on-one with a professor or faculty at Virginia Tech. But having the opportunity to go up and be in these really small, intimate settings of one-on-one tutoring with your professor, because they're going to be in their office, they're going to want to help you. They not that they don't have anything else to do in the summer, but they've got hours dedicated to you as a student. So that was one of the greatest academic supports that I received, and all the seminars and all the other things that made me transition has helped me all academically.
Yeah, I still think the best resource for getting help with your studies in the summer and just in any semester is office hours. You know, you go talk to your professor, even if you don't have questions, just go discuss the class with them. You know, oh, I really enjoyed this lecture on this, and you know, could you go into more detail about it or whatever? Because the more you get to know them, the more comfortable you'll feel when you do have a question, and you won't be like, oh, I don't, you know, this might be a stupid question. I don't want to sound dumb in front of this professor. But because you'll already know them, you'll feel comfortable with them, and then later on down the road, when you want, you know, when you need a recommendation or if you want to see if they're doing research and you want to work with them, you'll already know them. So you'll feel much more comfortable asking them for things.
I had, so I took, when I came in, I took general chemistry and general chemistry lab, and that was a little strenuous and it was hard, but I got through it. But my kind of relief of a class, I took Peace Economics, and it's taught by Mike Ellerbrock, and now I find that I have a really, really strong connection with him. I have taken a class with him every single semester since then, and I'm running out of classes, so at this point, I'm just going to have to go visit him in his office every day. But I also have a class in his building, so when I walk to my class in that building, I just stop by his office every single day, and sometimes I might be a little late to class because we talk so much, and we have a great human connection, besides the fact that he's a faculty with tenure and he's probably intimidating to some people. But when you are in that like really close setting, you don't feel that barrier that you might feel otherwise when you're sitting and making eye contact with him like 45 times a day when he's lecturing. You don't feel like that barrier between like maybe the academics and the student. But,
Right.
yeah.
So if you're just joining us, we're Virginia Tech Summer Academy. We're talking about the program and the potential benefits by participating in the program. And we'll go to another question now from the live chat audience.
Yes, and this question comes from Hannah, and she wants to know what kind of courses are available during Summer Academy, and how would you go about choosing those courses?
Hannah, great question. Do you all want to take that? I can answer that as well, but
Oh,
From a
we'll go ahead and
student
talk about
perspective.
how to choose them if you want to.
Yeah.
I said we'll go and explain how we chose them. if you
okay,
like,
yes,
tell
yes,
us.
yes,
All right.
great.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I'll
Yeah?
start.
All right.
Sorry, Kyle. So I'm a biochemistry major, and that was my tentative major when I came in as a student. So I knew that my freshman years and all my studies here were going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be a heavy course load. And I wanted to take something that was major related, but also would fulfill those foundation classes. So when I chose to take general chemistry, I weighed that against taking general biology. I really love those intense courses that are offered in the summer because every single day I'm learning the skills and the knowledge that's pervade through that class. So I chose to do general chemistry because I knew it would be pretty strenuous, and I wanted to have that focus that Summer Academy can give you. I knew that I would be studying in groups. My brother did the year before me, so he could kind of help me. But I knew that Summer Academy was going to be a great opportunity to study together and a great opportunity to facilitate like my academics with my social. So it was the time for me to focus really in on my choices. And I also chose Peace Economics because it sounded like something that was fun. I was always interested in like the humanities and the arts, and it was a great way. The tracks that you can choose from, there are 18 of them. The tracks that you can choose from they have like a theme to them. So they have like a point that they're trying to get across, and you kind of get a more global picture when you're taking these classes that are put together by Summer Academy. So you have tracks to choose from, and within those tracks they give you classes. But you have so many track options. Engineers have 3, and business majors have specific ones. Architecture has their own ones. And I just kind of catered it towards what would help me excel academically. I know friends that took it interest-based, and I know friends that took a literature or like an econ class because they really, really wanted to, and that was their interest. But I did it for my major, so that's how I chose personally.
Right, and so one of the nice things about being a transfer student is they have a really flexible way of picking your classes. There's a few tracks that are strictly you take these specific things, but there's one transfer track that allows you to pick any 2 or 3 courses you want. And one of the biggest things for me in choosing them was, looking ahead in the fall semester, what the things that I need to take. Are there any prereqs that I can get done in the summer so that come fall I can take the things I need to still try and graduate on time? Because as a transfer student, usually at least a few classes the credits don't come over to Virginia Tech because it's either a super specific class or if you're coming from a different state or anything like that. So.
And you can also go to the website vtsa.edm.vt.edu, and at the top of the website you'll see track recommendations by college and also by major. So just go to that site and you'll see all the different kinds of recommendations that we have for you. And then we also would suggest that you reach out to your academic advisor in your home department of your intended major. Your academic advisors, they're great resources. They can help you with that decision as well. So we have another question from the live chat group.
Yes, we have another question. This actually comes from a parent. Her name is Tabby, and she wants to know, can she send care packages to her student while they're attending Summer Academy?
Did anybody receive any care packages?
I wish I received a care package, mom and dad, but my friends received care packages, which I reaped the benefits of. So I got to eat their snacks, even though I don't know if I was ever sent any. It's the same way that it works during the school year. We have mail services that are open. We have our mailbox. So I did get regular like parcels or like notes from my grandmother and from other family members that were reaching out to me. Oh yeah, my best friend did send me a care package when I was here. Kind of like a little bit of my graduation gift and a little bit of partying and I love you kind of gift. So I did, and you can definitely send a care package. Yeah.
Right. I think I got one. I got one from my mom over Summer Academy, and I'm sorry, Mom, I don't remember what was in it. But that was my only. I only lived on campus during that time, so I can't really speak to any more
Right.
than that.
Right.
But yes, you can.
You can send campus cookies, which is like a form of portable, deliverable cookies. You can send all sorts of little remembrances to your student, letting them know that you're still there. You know, they can pick up the phone and their parents are going to be there in 30 seconds if they need it.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Here's a question I have, and I think a lot of people out there might have. What about Blacksburg? Is Blacksburg a sleepy town in the summer? You know, what's about Blacksburg, and what can you do in Blacksburg during the summer in surrounding areas? I know we mentioned tubing and some of those other excursions, but is Blacksburg, just silent in the summer?
It's a change of pace
Yeah.
from what the regular school year is like.
In a good way, though.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
very
it's nice.
it is a very good way to transition. It's Southwest Virginia, so it's a little sleepy. It's a little quiet, but it's also not like scary quiet. It's not like you're like walking the hallways and no one is there. It's very comforting to be in a place that doesn't feel overwhelming when you first come here. So in terms of what you can do in Blacksburg, all the restaurants downtown are open, so that's a great way to like actually figure out what you like before you come here. You can show off to your friends when they come what kind of restaurants you like, how well you know how to order at those restaurants. Right, we did tubing, we did paintball.
There's a lot of hiking trails around here, a ton.
Yeah.
And of course, you're not going to go hiking when it's 11 degrees in December. So summer's a good time to see all of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music performances they do downtown. There's a lot of different festivals that they have going on over the summer. And they've got a farmers market every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So you can check that out too over the summer.
My favorite festival of all time is like here in I think it's the last week and a half or like last weekend before Summer Academy ends. And it's kind of like a culture festival slash like a I don't really know how to describe it. It's just like people come and they sell their goods. So they're selling handmade soaps and they're selling art and they're selling all these things and there's performances, there's street art. There is the Hokey Bird walking around. You'll just run into him like 100 times when you're here at Summer Academy over the summer. And it's like one of my favorite experiences. Every single year I go back and there's something new that I hate to say it, Mom and Dad, but I want to purchase it. I'm sorry about that. But there's something special about it because I know it's coming from my home at Virginia Tech, but I can also bring in other parts of my life to it. So I can do things that remind me of home in Richmond and also what reminds me of being here at school and being with this community.
Anyone else want to chime in on Blacksburg? What about some of the activities in the student center, Squires, the facilities there, also McComas, some of those things for people to do in the summer?
So definitely, this past year when I was a peer mentor, we were right on the quad, so we had tons and tons of time for activities outside. So we had our basketball team. I didn't make the A team, unfortunately, so I trained all summer. So hopefully this upcoming team, I can step up my game and be a little better in my basketball skills. But we have so much outdoor space at Virginia Tech that when you want to play volleyball at like midnight, you can just grab some friends from the study room and go out and play volleyball. In terms of like McComas, it's so much easier. And it's really nice to go to an empty gym, which is something you don't realize until you go to at 6 p.m. during the school year or right after New Year's when the gym is completely packed. You get to go to the gym, you get to do classes, you get to do all these things that are nice to acclimate what a real life is going to be like at school. Balancing your health, your mental health in school and social, and there's just so many. It's a condensed version of what you're going to have in the school year, so it's nice to have plenty of time to do that.
Right, and then one of the other nice things you can do that you can't really do I mean, you can do it now since it's spring, but in the winter is to go sit outside and study, or just on the drill field and study, or just sit out there and hang out, or walk around campus, which is beautiful. And at night, it's super safe. So, you can go on a walk with one of your friends and talk, or do whatever, even if it's 1 in the morning and you're
Yeah.
stressing out about an exam the next day.
If you guys are coming here, go to Hahn Horticulture Gardens at
Oh, yeah.
night, because they have these string lights, and it's really beautiful in the summer because it's warm and luscious. I've also done it in a snowstorm before, and the light that comes from the snow, the strings of light, really reflects upon the snow. So whether you do it in like 10 degrees or it's not going to be 100 here, 80 degrees, it's still fun, and it's still an
Right.
experience, and it's a beautiful way to experience tech.
Okay, so we have another question.
Okay, and this question comes from Grace, and she wants to know how many students are in Summer Academy?
Grace, that's a great question. So overall, in Summer Academy, we tend to run between 300, 325 students each year. So if we can just kind of go back around the table and reintroduce ourselves, because we know some other people may have joined us since we started at the top of the hour. So we'll start over here.
Hello, I'm Kerry Redican, and I'm a professor of public health in the Department of Population Health Sciences in the College of Veterinary Medicine, and I teach a couple of undergraduate courses that have been in Summer Academy as well as throughout the year.
All right, I'm Kyle Turnage. I did Summer Academy 2 years ago as a transfer student, and now I intern at the Office of Summer and Winter Sessions.
I'm Sierra. I came into Summer Academy with Kyle. I was a freshman student coming in, and then last year I was a peer mentor, and this year I'll be the head peer mentor along with another head peer mentor, and so we'll be transitioning everyone.
And I'm Michael Herndon, Director of Summer and Winter Sessions, and we have another question from the live chat audience.
This question comes from Alex, and he wants to know, would you recommend bringing a car to Summer Academy?
Okay. Well, I would say as a parent, if your parents allow you to, but I'll let the
Yes.
students
Yes.
talk about that.
You got it.
I mean, I had a car here during Summer Academy, which I thought was nice, just because you can explore more of Blacksburg. Although, I will say, for the first week or two that I was here, no one really knew we were supposed to park, and so I ended up getting like 3 parking tickets over that summer. So if you do bring a car, make sure you're on top of knowing where to go, where to get your parking pass and all that as soon as you can, so that doesn't happen. But other than that, yes, I would. If you have a car, then I'd bring it. Not to go home, to go explore Blacksburg.
Yeah. So I did not have a car most of my freshman year. For my Christmas gift, my parents said, you can bring your old clunker, we'll pay for the parking pass, which was fine with me. So I didn't have my car during Summer Academy. I kind of wish I had it, just because Christiansburg, the Walmart, and all that stuff that I wanted to get to buy my new bed sheets and to get like things I forgot, like soap. You need soap to live, and I just walked to Kroger a lot. I think it would have made my time a little bit easier, but I think it's an experience riding the bus to and from Christiansburg.
Yeah.
That is a formative Virginia Tech experience, and I think every freshman/transfer student really needs to have happen to them in order to feel what it's like, independence when you take that 2-town trolley, the bus line to the mall, and then take it back. So
Right, and even if you don't have a car with you, there's a great public transit system that's free for all students, which goes right over to Kroger, the grocery store,
Yeah.
and back to campus. So
And I had plenty of friends with cars, so by 2 weeks in, I knew people with cars. And
Yeah.
they could drive me to Walmart when I needed to. They could drive me to the Christiansburg Mall when I really wanted to get some clothes. So
and that's another great way to make friends if you do have a car, because they'll all rely on you to go places.
that's true.
We have another question.
Okay, and this question comes from Jared, and he wants to know about the course load intensity. Is it very different from the full semester?
Okay, the course load, so we'll go to our
Sure, you bet,
expert on the panel here, our professor.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you,
bet.
Jared.
You'll be taking 2 courses in your track, and so that would be basically, if you think about a fall semester or spring semester, you'd be taking 5 or 6 courses. So of course there's a compressed format in the summer, but you are taking 2 courses and not 4, 5, or 6 courses. So it's very, very doable. You will be busy, but you'll still have plenty of time to explore the community, explore the campus, and participate in all the neat things that are going on during summer.
And as a piggyback,
Okay.
follow-up to that question, a lot of times parents and some students want to know the courses that are taught in the summer, are they taught by regular faculty who normally would teach those courses in the
Yes,
fall?
yes. We teach the same courses in the fall and in the spring, and the faculty that are in the summer academy are faculty that really enjoy teaching these courses, and faculty in the summer academy, as well as during the regular year, they want you to succeed. So, you're going to be able to have a great opportunity to get to know faculty and to be able to work with faculty, and you keep in touch with those faculty for years afterwards. I mean, I still see students that I had in summer academy, 3-4 years later. Yeah, so. Yeah, absolutely. It's a tremendous opportunity to really be able to experience success very, very early and begin to participate in the academic experience that's going to make a difference in your lives.
Okay, we have another question from the live chat group.
Yes, and this comes from Debbie, and she wants to know, should a student bring a microwave or fridge to Summer Academy?
Okay, so we'll let the students take care of that question.
You go ahead.
Yes. So I'm not sure if it's the case for all the dorms, but at least when I did it, each floor had a communal kitchen with a fridge and a microwave in it. So you can use the microwave there. I think they have a fridge, right?
Yeah, they have a fridge.
And if you trust the other people in your hall, you can use that fridge. So it's up to you if you want to bring like a small fridge or a microwave or not. It's all about convenience. If you want to, you could just walk down the hall and use it. There's also a stove and an oven in there to use as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I feel like it's something different when you come to college. You can't typically like have your massive store of food that you have at home. So when my roommate came in for summer academy, I don't really think we started off with a mini fridge, because how it ended up, our layout of our room, our mini fridge was like the focal point because it didn't fit anywhere else because we had already moved every other single object in. We had a mini fridge, we had a Keurig set up on top of it, and we also had a microwave because even though D2 is going to be open all summer, and that's they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sometimes you don't really want to walk to D2 before like your 9:30 a.m. class. You wake up at 9 and you just want some quick oatmeal, so you throw oatmeal in the microwave that you have. So I would say it definitely eases things. Bring what you would bring in the fall to what you would bring in summer academy. Live as if you're going to be in a dorm. You're going to need those things that you would need as a typical student. There are kitchens. We've made tacos before. We've made we made a bunch of Hispanic foods. I've used the kitchen facilities a bunch, but I also think it's really helpful to have your own.
And since we're on the topic of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does the meal plan work in the summer? And we have two different options. And which plan did you all choose your year in summer academy?
So I chose the option that gives you, I think 19 meals a week, which I kind of regret because you can only use that at D2, which is fantastic. It's the all-you-can-eat dining hall. But there were two other ones open that summer, which were ABP, which is sort of like Panera, and Burger 37, which I think was brand new at the time. Which you could still pay with cash, but you can't use the meal swipes on that. You have to get actual dining dollars to go to those two.
So from my perspective, I had the allotted money one, and my parents know right now that I typically go way over that allotted money because I eat a lot. But the great thing about D2 in the summer is that I actually had leftover money for the fall, so it rolled into the fall for me. And I loved it because I could go to ABP and I could get like grab and go kind of stuff, because at D2 you go in and you sit and it's a buffet style. ABP was really, really nice for that last week of intense classes right when I was getting ready for my exams, and I was grabbing food and going back to study. So I would definitely suggest that like more flexible meal plan, because that's what worked for me, and I loved the flexibility of grabbing and going. So even though you can get bananas from D2, but
So Kyle had the summer 19 meal plan, and Sierra had the summer flex.
Yeah.
So we have another question.
On the topic of food, Alex wants to know, are the food places around Virginia Tech open during summer academy?
Okay, so who wants to?
Yeah, I'm a food connoisseur, I feel like, at this point. So I am pretty sure that my first introductory to like all these places downtown were during the summer academy. My first Lights of Benny's was a track event. So our track walked from campus to Benny's, which is like maybe like a 0.2 mile walk, but it was an event because we were all 20 of us herding downtown. I got my first experience at Benny's, which is like the formative Virginia Tech experience. I would say almost every single place is open. Maybe a little different hours, just because there's not the high volume population. But I still ordered like 2 a.m. DP doughs while I was studying. So everything's open that you want to be open.
Yep.
So hope that answered your question. the person who wrote that one in. Have another question? Do we have more questions out there? Please log in and type your questions. Anything else you want to add for the good of the order?
For the good of the order, I feel like for me, I came in for like sort of that academic foundation, and I hope people realize that when they're coming to Summer Academy, it's a great way to start off strong. And I said that like I started off with a really awesome GPA because I did well academically. But also, this is a great time to kind of learn your own study skills and learn how you can succeed as an independent student. So even if you do not succeed like you wanted to, you had that goal and maybe you didn't live up to that during Summer Academy, you learn during Summer Academy and not when you're taking 15 or 16 credits of your intensive major courses. This is a great time to make that mistake of prioritizing all your social things over studying. This is a great time to figure out how to balance like your mental health and your intelligent, I don't know what I'm saying, like intelligence or knowledge learning, because this is a way less stressful environment, and we have the tools in Summer Academy to help if you are struggling, to help that struggle and to help you do better, because we are a very tight-knit community and want to provide that for you.
And the other great opportunity I think it gives you is, especially if you just visited campus and you're just so excited and you can't wait to come here, it's a perfect way to come earlier rather than waiting all the way until August, from now till then. You can get here a month or two before if you just can't wait.
Right. Which I thought I could wait, but then I got here. My best friends to this day are from Summer Academy. And not to say that I didn't branch out in my freshman hall or branch out within my major and my clubs. Summer Academy has just always been something very, very homey to me. And I still contact all of them. And I still feel a very tight-knit community. And even if I didn't know you from Summer Academy, I'm like, oh my gosh, Kyle, you did Summer Academy. Let's talk about all these things that we have in common because we experience the same thing at Virginia Tech. And I felt like a professional. Let me tell you, that first day of classes, when I was walking around and knew what I was doing, I always felt like I knew what was going on. Never felt overwhelmed when 30,000 people swamped this campus. Not swamping it. 30,000 people converged on the campus move-in weekend. My stuff was, we get an early move-in. I got to move into my dorm a week early. I got to choose my side of the dorm room, which was really nice. Sorry, Abby, my freshman roommate. Got to choose my side of the dorm. And it was just something that I didn't have to worry about when I was coming in. I was nervous. I was like sweating bullets the first day, like meeting people in my hall. Yeah. But it wasn't, moving in was so easy and so like carefree that when I got here for the first day of classes, I never felt really, really overwhelmed.
So we have another question from the live chat group.
And this question comes from Grace, and she wants to know, do students typically bring a bike?
Kind of wish I had a bike.
Yeah, so did
I always wish I had a bike.
I wish I had. I still don't, yeah.
You have to register it with on campus, like the police or the parking services. So like if anything ever happens to it, you can find it. It's just kind of like a safety measure to register your bike. I really wish I had a bike like 90% of the time, because that is a speedy way to get across campus.
Yeah, it is. It's way faster, especially when you first get here and campus seems so massive, and you're like, it's like a 15-minute walk to get to class. If you had a bike, you can just zip over there.
Zoom,
a minute
right?
or two.
When I did Summer Academy, we all went to Walmart the first weekend, and we all bought Razor scooters. Those ones like when you're like a child. And so we were like the scooter squad, and we like scooted through campus. But I admit that scooters can be really, really difficult when it comes to grass. So we got a lot of grass on this campus. Get yourself a bike that can do some all-terrain movement rather than.
Highly recommended, especially for the summer.
Yeah, it's good.
But the city itself, actually the county, we are very rich in bike paths. So I mean, there's a lot of places you can go. You could walk, of course, on those bike paths. There's a lot of places you can go just by biking. That cuts down that time. So you can bike out to that mall we were talking about earlier. You can bike out of town for hikes and things like that. And plus, within town, there's just a lot of bike paths. So bike would be a great thing to have here. Yeah.
Another question from the live chat group.
Okay, so this question comes from Jared, and he wants to know what the ratio is between mentor to students.
Okay, typically for every mentor, we have 24 students. So we try to keep the groups small so that people can connect and get to meet each other. So for every, that's the cap. For every mentor, no more than 24 students.
And So the way that it worked for me last year, I was a peer mentor, and my track was large. So there were 36 students in my track. However, there were 2 peer mentors that were in this track. So what is that, 18 students per mentor? And even though it was a big study course and it was a big group of students, there was still that individual attention because I got to focus on my 18 students, and Lindsay, my fellow peer mentor, she got to focus on her 18. So there was still a great ratio there. And same with faculty, yeah.
Other questions? So in case you just joined, we just want to kind of give you a quick recap of Virginia Tech Summer Academy. Let me give you the dates. So please make preparations and join us for Sunday, July 2nd. The program runs from July 2nd to August 14th. And again, Summer Academy, some of the benefits are small classes, early move-in, academic support, academic success, and a really great time to have a soft landing to your college life experience at Virginia Tech. So make preparations to join us July 2nd. And if you have any other questions about Summer Academy, give us a call at area 540-231-4879 or visit our website at vtsa.edm.vt.edu. And you can always send us questions by email, summer@vt.edu. Really easy to remember, summer@vt.edu. And we always have staff fielding those questions throughout the day if you have questions even after this broadcast. So we have another question from the live chat
Okay,
group.
this question comes from Grace, and she wants to know how long does it typically take to walk to class?
So this summer we're going to be living, I believe, as of now, in Behringer, which is it's closer to downtown, and Johnson, which is right across the hall, right across the quad from it. I would say 10 minutes. Virginia Tech's a big campus. We have a lot of land here, so it is a little bit of a walk. But typically, in the first place, students typically leave 15 minutes before their class, so it's a very comfortable pace. I had classes both on that side of the campus, which is the residential side, and I also had it on the academic side. 15 minutes maybe, and it's a casual 15 minutes. You're not sprinting anywhere. We're not making the classes aren't from our farthest building to our farthest building. They're pretty centrally located.
Yeah, I'd say 15 minutes max, sometimes even closer than that.
With a bike or a scooter, you can cut that time in half. It's
Yep.
just, you can facilitate a speedier transition if you really want to.
But plus, during the summer, it's super nice out anyway, so the walk, it's not like you're trekking in super freezing weather or anything.
Yep. A little warm and sunny, but wear some sunscreen.
One question is a common question that we get in our office, which I'm kind of surprised no one from the live chat raised. But what about computers? Are you required to bring a computer, or do you really need to have your computer when you show up at Summer Academy? Or can you kind of see what's out there and available and wait until fall?
I had the same computer from freshman year of my high school experience until I came to Virginia Tech. So for me, that was never too taboo of an subject. But I did have friends who were engineers who used their high school computer, and then when they did those intro to engineering classes, they figured out what kind of computer they would actually need during their 4 years here as an engineer. So it is a good time to feel things out in general. Come here, I would say, prepared with something. It doesn't have to be the most tip-top in shape laptop or computer, but definitely having something. I know people love tablets. I don't have a tablet, but I know that's really easy to take notes on, keeping everything in one spot. And that laptop that you have in Summer Academy, it's going to last you for the next 4 years. So.
And because the classes are so condensed in the summer, you don't have as much time. The class moves pretty fast, so if you need a computer for the class, you're probably going to want to come with something.
And then don't forget too, the faculty will be communicating with you, via email on that. So you'll need a computer, obviously, or at least a handheld phone to be able to communicate. But also, many of us will post our PowerPoints or put our PowerPoints and other materials, on the class website. So you'll need access to those as well. So I would agree, bring something with you where you can get into the learning systems that we have here, and to be able to, for ease of communication with faculty and other places on campus.
So any final thoughts from the panel? Any parting comments? Encouraging words? to
Encouraging
tell
words.
people, hey, come to Summer Academy?
So I would just say those words. I would say come to Summer Academy. everything that I am at Virginia Tech and everything that I've been able to succeed, I really do attribute to Summer Academy. I added a second major because of that peace economics class I took. I got a great GPA from the get-go, which I feel like is setting me out for life and for applying to graduate schools and applying to medical schools and professional schools, because I started off really strong in Summer Academy. So if you have like an end goal, if you have a dream in life, this is a great way to facilitate your progress. You can succeed. We have the foundation here at Summer Academy for you to succeed. It is one of the most awesome decisions that I made. I know my parents helped me out a little bit with that, but I have been changed as a person, and I think for the better. I feel more driven. I feel more committed to my school, and I feel more committed to my academic tenure here than I think I would otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Right, definitely come. It's a great way to get adjusted, get to know the campus, get to see what classes are like, figure out the best way you can study, the best way to plan things out. You can find where you like to eat for a few places on campus and off campus. Great way to meet people so that when the fall semester starts, you've already got a pretty decent friend group going. It's just a great time and a great way to get to know the university so you're not overwhelmed in the fall.
And I agree. I couldn't agree more with what was said. I think in coming to Summer Academy is going to make that fall experience so much easier, right? If you're already here and you know all these things, it makes fall so much easier. And the distractions that incoming freshmen will have in the fall, normally if they don't come to Summer Academy, are pretty major distractions. So this makes things a whole lot easier. You experience success early, and it does make a whole difference in your college career.
So thanks for joining us in this live chat, first ever Facebook live chat event sponsored by Virginia Tech Summer Academy. If you have any questions, again, please visit our website, vtsa.edm.vt.edu. Send us an email, summer@vt.edu. Give us a call, area 540-231-4879. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook, and we hope to see you July 2nd, right, in Summer Academy.
Come and meet us.
Meet us in the flesh. Goodbye.